Welcome back to Offroad Outlaws, y'all, and in this video, we actually just got a call from the junkyard again. Yes, the same one where we found the square body, and the vehicle that they have for us this time is supposedly a little bit newer, and so I'm kind of wondering why it's in the junkyard. I don't really know why it's in the junkyard. I feel like it shouldn't be in the junkyard, but apparently it is rusting away and falling apart, and they said that we could pick it up for really, really cheap, so I was like, all right, that sounds good to me. I'll hook up the trailer. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing hooked up and ready to go, and then we're gonna make our way on over there. Now, as y'all know, this map is, I believe it is called Seaside Auto Park, 99.9% sure on that. And just to go out of character for a second or two, this is a RP focused map that also has a lot of different areas, a lot of different dynamics. You can do just about any type of RP you want out here. There's even an off-road trail system. I believe there's a couple of racetracks. There's a ton of stuff to work with, trust me. You can even do, like, patrol vehicle RP. Like, literally, you have the freaking station right here. So, speaking of that, we've been sitting at that stop sign for quite a while. So, let's go ahead and... Who the heck drove out there? No idea. But whoever they are needs to kind of watch themselves, because that's literally right next to the station. I don't know why they didn't think about that before they did it. Now, the junkyard has been getting in some weird stuff lately. Like, literally, the vehicle we're about to go pick up is supposedly quite new. But at the same time, it looks like it either sat outside forever or, like, sat under a tree and then was left out in the rain and then it rusted and then, like, it did not have the greatest life and it was not taken care of. So hopefully we can revive some of the life that it once had. So let's go ahead and make this right-hand turn into the junkyard. And it looks like the vehicle in question is right here. And it's a very rusted out Tahoe. And I mean, it is, when I say it's rusted out, I mean, like, look, it is like, if it didn't have, you know, intact suspension and somehow or another these side steps haven't fallen off, it would basically look like everything else in the freaking junkyard, and I'm kind of surprised that the excavator hasn't, like, picked it up yet and, you know, dropped it in the freaking scrap pile. Either way, we are definitely going to pick this thing up. It'll definitely not only be a great addition to our collection, but I think we can do a lot with it, and I'm very, very glad to be saving it from the crusher over here today. So let's go ahead and get this thing all lined up. Let me see if I can get the trailer into position real quick. And, ooh, easy. I just want to get this thing backed up next to the Tahoe. Almost there. Well, this is going to be interesting, isn't it? You know why? Because getting that Tahoe on the trailer is going to be... Ooh, it's going to be a experience. So let's go ahead and detach the trailer. And then now, let's see what we can do in terms of getting that thing pushed and moved and winched and pulled up onto the trailer itself. We finally got it up there. It took quite a bit of, like, moving everything around and winching and pushing and pulling and all sorts of stuff. But you know what we're going to do? Real quick, we're going to hop out of the truck. We're going to get a quick photo on our phone because, you know, this is definitely a moment. I mean, like, the moment you pick up a new project is always a great one, but I gotta tell you, like, picking up junkyard projects is always really, really cool. So let's go ahead and get this thing back to our friend's shop and see what we can actually do with it. Now, the first order of business is gonna be to polish it up, clean it up, and make sure that the body is usable. And if it is, then we're probably gonna start off with, like, a basic setup, like a small lift kit and a few other things. And then if that goes well, then we may expand it a little bit more. We gotta get in the other lane for a second, because, well, they got the road torn up, and if we try to drive in that part of the road, well, it's not going to go over very well. I can promise you that. Now, let's ease it on through here. We are using the nitrous just to kind of help this thing spool up a little bit, because the weight is, let's just say this thing can definitely feel it. It's a bit of a haul, that's for sure. I do definitely want to kind of, like, rework the gearing on this truck a little bit. It's not too bad when you use the nitrous to help it, but when you're not using the nitrous to help it, it's pretty slow when you're towing. And I mean, like, look at the speedometer. I mean, we're only going like 34 miles an hour, and we were tapped out for quite a bit there. Now, let's see what we can do once we get, like, out of first gear, and then we'll give it some nitrous. That gets us up to, like, 50, and then if we let off the nitrous, it just literally, you could see it dropping off rapidly back down to, like, 30. And then 29. Now, granted, also, that's kind of a side effect of the automatic transmission in Offroad Outlaws, but either way, we are at the shop here, so let's go ahead and roll the Tahoe into the shop and see what we can do with it, and also see what the, let's see what the people at the shop think of it. You like it? It's rusty? I mean, yeah, I know. I got it for really, really cheap. It wasn't, I didn't buy this thing as a showroom piece. But I do think we can do some stuff with it. Let's go ahead and get it up on the lift and get it into the shop and start tearing into it. Well, we got this thing all polished up, and I think it's pretty much, like, all of the rust was just kind of hanging out on the surface, so it wasn't really all that big of a deal. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to use this as an opportunity to turn this thing into sort of a crawler slash mud truck slash mega truck, depending on the scenario that you would use it in. So essentially, we're going to give it solid axle pro heavy duty axles, and then we're going to essentially make it so that if you want to change up any type of approach that you would take with this thing, all you would have to do is change the suspension tune. Like, that's literally all you would have to do with it. So we're going to do kind of a general setup on it first, and then we're going to kind of evolve from that. And also, y'all in the comments are going to help direct this build as well. So if there's anything specific that you would like to see done with this rig, let me know in the comment section down below. So let's see. I'm thinking that I do want this thing to have a little bit of rear steer for added maneuverability, and then I want to go ahead and max the travel out. But we will, and don't worry, we're not leaving it like that. We will be messing with the stiffness, though, so this thing can have some proper flex to it. And I'm thinking about 12.8 in the back, and then in the front, we'll be at about maybe like 13.9, 13.8. That seems about right, or at least close enough. We're going to do a baseline damping setup of 2800. 2800 seems to usually work really well, and then we could sort of evolve the rest of the setup from there. We're going to do shock 2, so that's going to be, or rather shock option 1, which is shock 2, for independent reservoirs all round, and then sizing is going to be 2 O's. And then let's see, we'll do 2 O's for sizing in the front and the back so that they're properly huge. And then I'm thinking that from, let's see, from now, I almost said from here, and then from now, and then both of them came out at the same time, because that's just how that works, I guess. I'm thinking that we're going to want to go ahead and handle the tire situation. Now, really, from this particular standpoint, or at least from this, like, area of tuning, all we can do is handle the size, and I think 1.3 will be a really good place to start. Also, every time the game, like, freezes up for, like, a second, and then, like, jumps back into the game, it zooms you out a little bit, which is really frustrating. All right, 1.4, is that where we're at in the front as well? Yeah, 1.4, and then I think for wheel size, we'll go up to like a 1.1, but like a high 1.1, because there's still, like, within each number, there's still a little bit of variance. So let's go ahead and upgrade to stage 5 gears. And then let's see, first gear will be 3-2. This will be our baseline, 3-2, 2-0, 1-4, and then 1-1, and then 0.8. That'll be sort of our across-the-board baseline. Now, let's see what this thing looks like on a drop test. It's going to freeze. Of course, it's going to freeze on the first one. Yep. All right, drop test number 2. That's actually really even. What about flex? How well does it do? Oh, wow. We're at 26 degrees, and the rear axle is still completely on the ground. Oh, my. Okay. The rear axle lifts off the ground at 33 degrees. That is insanely impressive. Why did no one tell me about this? Why did no one tell me that this thing was going to be an amazing crawler platform? Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and do the perfect setup. But wait a minute. We actually still need to build this thing out. So, hold on. We're a little bit behind, aren't we? All right, we're going to build this thing all the way out. And then we'll do grip all the way out, weight reduction all the way out. We will be swapping it to diesel for maximum torque and power output. And almost there, we'll do the manually usable e-brake. And then we will go ahead and also... Oh my god, the game's going to freeze again. Really? Come on, stage 4 turbo. We're not going to do tracks because tracks don't usually work out very well for me. I mean, like, maybe that's because I don't know how to tune for them. I'm not entirely sure. But I've never been a big fan of the way, like, my tracked builds have come out in this game. So let's go back in real quick. And we'll probably do, well... See, now I'm... Oh, metallic white? Yo, I never run that, but, like, now I'm starting to... Dude, that is so sick. Okay, I'm gonna do a metallic white, and we will do metallic white wheels, metallic white bead locks on the front and rear, deep dish metallic white bead locks at that. So now, do we want to do the more off-road stuff? We'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that. Why not? And now, we need to go ahead and switch up the tire compound. Now, this looks insane, but I don't know if it's going to be the best performing. Now, these are a little bit better on rocks, but a little bit worse everywhere else. These are pretty good, and actually, if we're going to use these give us the ability to kind of increase our tire size a little bit more because they don't actually take up as much space in the wheel wells, or at least they don't appear to. So we're on a 1.4 for tire radius right now. Or no, sorry, 1.3. We're going to go up to a 1.4 and then a 1.5. That looks so much better. 1.4 and then 1.5. Beautiful. Okay, that is the type of setup I was looking for. Absolutely the type of setup I was looking for. That looks sick. Like, that actually looks really, 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 really good. Really, really good. Now, before we get too deep into, like, the paint color and the rest of it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave things like the paint color and the axle color, things like that, up to y'all to suggest in the comments down below, and I'm going to pick some of y'all's suggestions. We're going to come back in the next video, apply those suggestions, and then take this thing out for a rip and for an initial test run. So, if y'all enjoyed this video, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see y'all next time. Talk to y'all later.